Alright, I'm Terrance James, and today we're doing the Traffic Light Grand Prix acceleration test on the brand new BMW Z4 M40i Manual. And basically what this test is to give you some real-world application of acceleration and braking, where we race up to a fake stoplight with terrible graphics, just to throw on the brakes as hard as we can, and then go to the dealership and complain about how bad the brakes and fuel economy are on this car. Alright, so here we go. Alright. Whoa, ho, ho. Oh, gets a little sideways. Oh, it's got lots of pickup. All right, we're gonna hammer on the brakes. Oh, those four pistons work really, really good. Pass. All right, so now what we want to do is take this for a full test. And what we're gonna do is tell you all about it. And most importantly is this is a follow-up video to our automatic that we did a few months ago to let you know what the manual Z4 or Supra is like, because this is exciting. In 2025, they finally gave us the manual that we were looking for. So let's go. All right, so we're off. And as we said, what we're going to do is just tell you what's different this year for 2025. Well, not a lot. The car came out in, I think, 2019, if I remember correctly. Basically, what the idea was, Toyota and BMW came together to build Toyota a Supra, because we live in a world where these companies have to work together nowadays. So a lot of people made fun of the new Supra because it was basically BMW, but BMWs are pretty awesome. And what it allowed it to do is to bring the Z series of cars back. And not only that, but on a dedicated rear-wheel drive sports car GT platform, which is really, really exciting. So not a lot of marketing dollars have gone into this because this is a dying breed, but that is what we're saying. Should it be? I really don't think so. I own a little BRZ, which is kind of like the roots of this, and this is just adding layers of theater and power and excitement and things like that. So now what are you talking about for a car like this? Well, for 2025, one of the things that I like that BMW is doing is giving you the turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder or the B58 inline turbo that everybody loves, with whatever you want. Basically, what I mean is, if you want to go for the 4-cylinder and you're more comfortable with that, you're still going to get the M aerodynamics package to give a really cool looking car, things like that. So you're not going to suffer that way. And with that base model, the 30i, what you can do is you can add those M features in. So now you can get the M 4-piston blue or red brakes up front, and the 1 piston in the rear. You can get the M adaptive dampers, which is really awesome. What else can you do? You can get the M differential in the back. So that's, you know, really fancy limited slip differentials that's going to help, depending on the situation, put that power down, even in inclement weather and things like that, which is pretty cool. Now, again, I don't know how great this is going to be with even snow tires, but I'm sure it wouldn't be too bad. But yes, I really, really like that fact that no matter what, you basically pick the engine, and then now, if you want a manual transmission, we can finally get it again, and that is so awesome. And it's a 6-speed manual, and that's what we're going to talk about in a second. But you got to get the M40i, the fun one that comes with all that stuff. And just to finish that off, at whatever one you get too, when it comes to some of the tech things, you can get that either way, depending on the trim as well. So if you want to get the fancier hardened carbon stereo, you want to get the heads-up display, things like that, you can do it absolutely on either of those cars. It really comes down to whether or not you want the B58 engine with a little extra power, or a lot extra power, and or you want that manual transmission. So let's just do a little of everything here. So we're our highway and handling test. We're going to drop it down in a second here, see how that M differential works. Ooh, that's a lot of power. All right, may not look like we're going fast, but we are. All right, so you can get on the highway here. Oh, that sounds good. Oh yeah, plenty of power, and then some. And that differential works really, really well. Now, 0 to 60, as you saw, we didn't do a full 0 to 60, but rumor has it these cars will go around 3.5 seconds, low 4s with the manual here, and that's moving. It really is. I remember we had, just for a short time, a Dodge Viper my dad bought and flipped way back when, and that was around that, and that was legendary at the time. And now this is here, you can get for around $85,000 Canadian. So that's what the M40i starts at. Now it comes in around $72,000 and around that MSRP plus fees and taxes in Canada for the 30i. And then again, you can get any of those really up, in this one all the way up to over 100,000 if you put in all those goodies. But yeah, so realistically, what are you competing against then? Well, I've always said that these little cars are pretty much the same buyer as a Mazda Miata. It's just somebody that has more money or is willing to spend more money. But as the years have gone on, these little cars are not so little anymore. It's little in size. You know, you're only a 97-inch wheelbase, and the trunk, you know, even though it's pretty good for a small car, you're only 10 cubic feet of space, and you know, there's no back seats and things like that. And it's fairly tiny, but where you're getting bigger is in the weight. This one weighs around 3,600 pounds, so it's no longer the 2,500 pound Mazda Miata, right? So you really do notice that, but they put layers and layers of power and engineering into suspension, things like that, to try to counterbalance some of that weight. And I do have to say that this car does still feel fairly light and agile for a 3,500 pound car, more than like something like a Mustang or something would feel light and agile. And it really sounds good. It's nice and quiet on the highway. Now, if you're looking for a full review, about a month and a half ago, we did one on an automatic, where we did a lot more full highway test and walk around and things like that. I really wanted to show everyone today what the manual was like and some of the changes. But one of the problems that you kind of come into when you're talking about competition, especially when you're talking up to $100,000 now, is, are the Mazda Miata buyers going to want to spend that type of money? Because this car is kind of in between. And what I mean by that is, you're going to look at something like a Porsche Boxster. You can get in around anywhere in that same type of price range, you know, around 80 to over $100,000. But the Porsche is going to be equally as nice, equally as beautiful, but a little bit more precise and serious on how it handles. Not that this handles bad by any means, but this is a little bit more GT focused. But then again, you're looking at $100,000 and you're thinking, well, why wouldn't I buy a Corvette maybe? Because now you're going to get a lot more power, even more theater with a V8, and a lot more practicality. The Corvette, you know, people tease it about the old guys and dentists and things like that buying it, but you can put golf clubs in it and all kinds of different stuff. It's quite a good vehicle that way. But yes, I mean, all in all, you know, a lot of times when it comes to BMW, Audi, and Mercedes, you have a very dedicated buying group there who like those for the badge. And this has a lot of pedigree, especially with the M. It's not a full M car or anything else like that, but I gotta say, it really is a handful. You know, and I said this with the white one as well that we took, the automatic, is, I think honestly, most people, at least the people that I see driving this, seem like they're older and probably more of a GT type buyer, or how they would take the car, you know. And when you're looking at it that way, this M40i is a bit of a handful. Like, I'm an experienced, confident driver, and you can get yourself in a world of trouble with this car in a hurry, I think, with it snapping around on you and things like that. So I think that the 4-cylinder, I have not driven one, but just according to the numbers, a 250 horsepower, and you're looking at a 0-60 time of, you know, just over 5 seconds, which is faster than a Civic Type R and GR Corollas and all these things that we praise for being so fast as enthusiast cars. So it's by far not slow, and I think for the chassis and things like that, it would probably be able to handle that power a little bit better and be a little bit more reserved and still give you everything that you would need. But how is this manual transmission? Well, I was a little concerned, to be honest with you, because I love BMW, always have, but I've never really loved BMW shifters. They always feel a little rubbery and loosey-goosey and everything. This is a luxury brand. Can you not do a little better? And this feels fantastic, because I heard that that Toyota did a little bit of their own tweaks on their 6-speed manual when they brought it out, and I wasn't sure what BMW would do. And I gotta say, this feels amazing. It's I don't know, one of the reasons why I like my cars. My BRZ fast, is it nice? No, but I call it driving therapy. It's not my term, someone else made it up, but it's very true. I go, and it's not even about going fast, because that car couldn't go fast if you wanted to. It's about how that shifter feels, a nice notchy feeling. I just like going out and shifting the gears, and I feel like this here is very notchy, very precise. It feels really therapeutic when you switch those gears. I haven't noticed anything weird about it, you know, like missing shifts or synchro problems or anything like that. I like how low it is. I like the cockpit feel, actually, how it feels high, but not like a big tractor shifter high. Feels like it's got nice short throws. I like the actual knob on it. Yeah, I really like this car a whole bunch in how it feels. Now the clutch, same thing. It's a lot like these other cars I've been driving, the Honda Civic Si, Type R, the Golf R. It almost seems synthetic. like I have a video game simulator. It's kind of like that, not in a bad way at all. It just it's a very refined, unique feeling in the clutch. But I have installed it. It seems to catch fine. It's easy enough to use. It's a fairly light clutch, but again, it's a GT car. Pedal placement is not. I find the brake pedals a little. I don't know. I'm not the best at doing the heel toe, and I got 8.5 size feet, so it's not really that great, but you might have an easier time. Driving position, I've got it set pretty low. I think maybe, let's see if I can go even lower. That's as low as we go. I look like I'm like 8 years old sitting in the car here. I just looked over myself at the camera. But I do like the fact that you can get a lower driving position, because one of the things I like with my car, again, and nothing could touch a Mazda Miata. You're sitting on the floor in the best way. But this is pretty close. And again, this car is not so much about sitting on the floor like a little go-kart. This is give you a little bit go-karty feeling on nice trips and things like that. But I have to say, this is a very quiet and comfortable car, and so is the automatic. I mean, if you are able to afford something like this, you enjoy driving, especially especially with the manual transmission. I really don't think that you can go wrong with this. I am really enjoying this, and I think that this is something that you definitely need to get in if you can afford it, while you can still experience it. Absolutely. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time.